order, and the machine is open for roll call. All right, we have a quorum. Next item is number 3, approval of the minutes from April 12, 2018 meeting. I got a motion by Barry Huggins to approve, seconded by Chris Kershaw. Is there any questions on the minutes? Any questions? Seeing none, the machine is open to vote for approval of the minutes. Item number 4, consider any amendments to the agenda. I don't believe, does anyone have anything that? See none, we'll move on to item number 5, declare equipment as surplus for auction, sale, scrap. Mr. Kenny Hunt.
Good evening, Commissioners. So what we have in front of you is 3 vehicles that we are declaring surplus. And I was asked by Mr. Kershaw to try to investigate if there were any fire departments locally or in the state that would be able to use our equipment. We spent last weekend at the State Firemen's Conference. In state, there are none, or that none that we were aware of. However, just outside of the state line in Arkansas, there is a fire department who has one engine that failed. They lost their transmission on their engine. There's also another fire department in Texas is similar, small little 10-person volunteer fire departments who could use some of our vehicles. I'm here to tell you, in the state of Louisiana, I think we're good, but I do think we could help some fire departments right outside of our state boundaries. So, that being said, the first 3 vehicles we have on this thing tonight is basically Ford trucks, pickup trucks, that kind of stuff, utility vehicles. I've had a request from one department for the F-350 that's in there, and I'm perfectly fine with giving it to them because this thing is, transmission's been out on it a few times. The seats are kind of wore out in them, but this is something that, they don't have anything to get around to go check on stuff. It makes a great little truck to do medical stuff and that kind of stuff. So, as for auction, I would like for us to be able to take that to the next level and donate it. I could get the paperwork together and get it with the attorneys to make that happen, but I would like for you to give me permission to make that happen. It is not in the state of Louisiana. That's the only hiccup, and I know that's kind of what we talked about, but fire service for us, fire service is brotherhood. So to me, it's, if they can use it, I'd rather them get it than somebody take it and they're going to hack the parts off of it and sell it and that kind of thing. That's where I'm at with that. But the 3 trucks that's there, I'd like for us to go ahead and move that to surplus tonight. And if you'll allow me to investigate this further and try to get with these fire departments to make sure they get use of it. The other fire department that I was talking about, we have a truck that's coming up from Mattis that we will no longer be needing. It's a 1985 Grumman truck, Ford truck. It's in excellent condition. It just passed its pump test today, and we don't use it. We don't have any need for it. It doesn't meet any of our specifications. That is something that in the October meeting, I would like for us to do the same thing if we can. But that's where I'm at with that. And if y'all want to discuss that, that's fine. The next thing is scrap. We have a bunch of hose that's been sitting in different fire departments that's been just hanging out for over the past 10 to 12 years that we never did anything with. And it's time to move it out. It's just taking up space. It doesn't meet any hose testing. That's why it's scrap, because it's failed hose testing and it is no longer any use to us. Some of the 2.5-inch hose that we had, we actually gave to the Sheriff's Department because they water all their fields and stuff, so we just kind of give it to them. It's no value to us. And they use it, and we give them enough to hold them over for a while. So those are the 2 issues that we're talking about tonight is vehicles and hose.
Okay, so the vehicles where it's got for the auction, you're not wanting to send none of this to the auction?
I would like to send a couple of them, but I'd like to get one of these vehicles over to the F-350. The first one is Rescue 26. That's the one that they're interested in. The next one is Rescue 58. The engine's blown in it. Rescue 26, everything still works on it.
So you would like to take the Rescue 26 truck, 2001 truck,
And donate it to
and make a donation
to
to,
a-
and who's the department?
I don't know the exact name, but it's a fire district in Arkansas. And I can get all that. And it's not like they need it right away, but it's something I would like to see them get. I could send all that information to you, so make sure you got
Okay,
it.
and the other two units, the pickup and the Ford F-350 2008, you're sending that to the auction?
Correct.
Okay, the other questions I have is on this scrap hose. I know a lot of people use this scrap hose at their bulkheads and the camps and things like that. What is your plans with this?
It's salvaged, so as a governmental entity, as salvage, it can be disposed of.
What you mean by dispose? Can you give it to me?
It can only be disposed of. I can
Ethics
only-
violation.
I can only throw it in the garbage can, and that's it.
So you're telling me that you're gonna throw it in a dumpster, and if somebody takes it out the dumpster, it's okay for them to take it out the dumpster?
All right, yeah, if that's what you want. I'm just saying, we're
Let me
gonna,
ask you this, are you cutting the couplings off of them?
the couplings are already cut off of it.
Okay, and so. Okay, any other questions? Yeah. Mr. Kershaw?
Kenny, I certainly don't have a problem with the ones going to auction, the one that's going out of state. I just want to make sure it's legal. I know we can give it to another governmental entity, but I thought that was as long as it was in the same state.
Yeah, and
I don't know if we can give one to an out-of-state governmental entity.
I can't
If
do
our-
any, I
if
can't
our
do anything,
attorney-
I can't do anything until the attorney tells me
Okay,
it's
if our
good.
attorney says go,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, if nobody else in the state of Louisiana wants it. But I want to make sure we have a legal opinion, or at least a letter from an attorney saying his opinion is it's okay for us to donate it out of state.
Absolutely.
I'd like to follow up on what Mr. Kershaw is saying, but I would rather we hold up on giving the authority of any of this until you come back at our next meeting. If it's no big hurry, then we can, that way you'll have all the legal stuff done, we can have everything done, and we can do it at that time, and everybody feel more comfortable.
Well,
So-
Are you,
Go ahead.
go ahead, no, you go ahead.
I was just asking, so what we want to do is, we just want to declare them surplus. The first two we'll send to auction, we won't move on the other one. It's either going to go to a department that desires it, if it's legally available. If not, then it will go to auction. And I'll make sure that at the October meeting, and by then, we'll be talking about an engine also, so we can make sure it's either going to go to
Okay,
them or go to auction.
all right. I have a motion by Barry Huggins and seconded by Ricky Luke. I guess to approve the things to go to the surplus.
To surplus the 3 vehicles and scrap the hose.
Just what he said.
Just what Kenny wants to do.
All right, is there any other questions? Any other? Seeing none, the machine is open to vote for approval. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item number 6, resolutions, and we have none. Item number 7, the fire chief's report. Mr.
All right, so everybody should have a copy of the fire chief's report. We'll just kind of go over it. The fire chief's report for this month, we're talking about training first. And so we have a lot of training going on, a lot of training that's happening, a lot that's fixing to come up. So a little bit of review. We have started with, the fireboat has hit the river, and we started with a 2-day-long class in the Homeland Security's office with East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Department. There was a bunch of fire departments in there from Baton Rouge, West Feliciana, St. George, us. And then we actually went out on the water and did some water training. Captain Henderson is here today, and firefighter Austin Abear was here. Those two guys were involved, and that gives us the opportunity to be training the rest of the firefighters once we get this thing really up and running on the river and in service. There are some issues with the boat as far as West Baton Rouge is concerned, because the way we use our fire hydrants and our hoses are of a different requirement than what Baton Rouge has. So we'll have to do some minor adapting, and it's not not hardly any cost at all. But we have finally got to where the fireboat is here, and, you know, it's been accepted, and East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Maritime are the ones that actually run the boat. We will be there for our firefighting operations only if needed. Active shooter training finished up last week. We worked with the West Baton Rouge Sheriff's deputies to get all of our firefighters as, you know, an annual active shooter update. It was done at Duval Middle School, and it was well attended. We had, the first day, one of the captains on duty told me, Chief, you know, we got more firefighters here than we got sheriff's deputies. Well, you know, they have their own thing, and then they come and help us, and then we help them. So sometimes they're not there at the same time as us, but it was good to see as many people as we had. And it was from all different parts of the fire service. It was paid, volunteers, and contracts, so it went off real well. Hangel Rescue is an upcoming class that Captain Roussel has graciously accepted to take on. It will be a 3-day class. It is scheduled to be happening in September, and it's really good because of the port and some of the places that we are, water towers, we have to have that. We went through sexual harassment, the parish offered that, and then the ones that didn't make it, they are going through the process of finishing up that. Our annual ethics training. Hazmat training is up this month coming in August. We have recruits that are training now, so those guys are starting their training as recruits, and we're going to do in-house recruit training. We were promised that we'd be in the Baton Rouge Fire Department training that started August, 1st of August, and they decided they would not have any outside fire departments anymore. The good thing about that was it was going to be free. The bad thing is we're not in it. LSU's classes have gone up to $4,500 a head, plus $1,200 for EMTs, and we've decided we're going to probably take this animal on ourselves and see how it comes out. And we're going to monitor it and see how good it works for us, and hopefully it'll be something to keep doing in the future. Volunteer training. Driver training was accomplished in April. Firefighter survival, Mayday drills, and forcible entry was in May. And 3-story building live burn at LSU was last month. Well attended. We had a lot of people learning a lot of good stuff. Our instructors, we had the deputy chiefs were all there. Austin Hebert, Brian Roussel, most of the captains all came out and helped and did a fantastic job once again. Really brought a lot of good training. Last weekend was the LSFA conference. We had quite a few volunteers attend that and a few pay guys. That was up in Shreveport. It was 108 degrees. It was hot. It was crazy. And I got to be smart and go try to cook cracklings out on the back deck with them in the heat. That wasn't good. But it went off real well. Our fire department stepped up with Vols Parish and a couple of other ones to jump in when the whole memorial, you know, basically never got kicked off real good, so we got there and we took over and we made it really something good. Pump testing is wrapping up tomorrow. All the engines have to be pump tested annually. We have not had a failure yet. They're in Bruley and Addis, and I don't know how many they did. I think they did 4 or 5 today, and everything's passed so far, so we're knocking on wood that it finishes up like that. Apparatus maintenance was finished up about a month ago, where they went in and changed all the oil, all the fluids and air filters and all that, so that's done. Hydrostatic testing of the SCBA's will be completed in August. That's where they take the breathing apparatus we have and they test it, make sure it works for us. Hose test has been completed. New Jaws of Life pump was put on full service on Rescue 31. That's the pump that we use the most in the parish. It's out on the interstate and up and down Highway 1 on a regular basis. How you doing? Firehouse software, we're kicking off that whole new software that we bought towards the end of the year last year and been working on putting all that stuff in. It's actually going to start taking place on the south end as our beginning to see if there's any problems with it. So the guy that's been installing it for us and the deputy chief, the district chief down there is going to start working on it. Tina Roussel is one of our volunteers, and she's president of the Port Allen Volunteers. And she started helping us with this new Narcan project we have. As you know, the heroin overdoses are really high, and we came into a new way of putting Narcan out there. You know, we used to have the one where you could just stick it in the leg and give them a dose, and that all got changed when they started finding out how expensive it was. So We're now training the whole parish on how to use the new Narcan, which is administered nasally, and it's all out in trucks, and we're getting the training done, so hopefully we can save some lives with that. Calls for the month were 535 non-fire calls for the quarter. 535 non-fire calls, 75 fire calls, and I do have, further down the list, we'll talk about the life safety awards. Any questions?
Any questions to the chief on his report? Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to the fire chief's life-saving awards.
We have had 3 life savings awards that was brought up to me. We've had an additional 2 since these were done, so we'll have some more coming up in October. But I'd like to go ahead and knock these out real quick. On March 9th, 2018, there was a complete cardiac arrest at the Port Allen Locks. Our guys ran out there, got on scene, and provided CPR, and we got the patient back. Those firefighters are here, or most of them are here tonight. We're going to give them all a Fire Chief Life Saving Award. So as I call your name, if you can come up, please do. We will also, for those who's not here, they're out, whatever, we'll hold on to them. We'll give it to them on duty. Captain Randolph Doyle, Captain Andre LeBlanc, Firefighter Operator Austin Abear, Firefighter Operator Alex Powell, and Firefighter Anthony Summers. Y'all know how busy Anthony is, so he actually comes during the day and helps us. He's a really big help. All right, the next one would be on May 29th. We had a complete cardiac arrest on Live Oak Drive in Brewley. And so those that are here is Captain Brian Russell, District Chief Brad Waldrop, who couldn't make it tonight, District Chief Richard Wood, Deputy Chief Gerald Mann, Firefighter Patrick Green is a contractor with Plaquemine who works for us. Firefighter Operator Brandon Cullen, and Recruit Firefighter Rusty Bergeron. And the next set we have was for daily test. Complete cardiac arrest on Flynn Road in Rose Hills area. So we're going to start off with Firefighter Operator Trainee David Trish. Captain Jason Henderson. Firefighter Operator Trevor Morrow, who is a contract firefighter, and District Chief Dustin Smith. I don't think Dustin's here. And that's it. We will definitely have 2 more for October, and hopefully they continue to do a fantastic job for us the way they've been doing, and we can give out more of these. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Kenny. Public comments. Anyone from the public? Mr. Berthelot.
Mr. Chairman, just for the firemen in here, I just want to let them know that, you know, one of my meetings I attended in Nashville, There's some bills going through Congress, and I'm not sure because I didn't get opportunity to look in exactly what the status of the bill is now, but there are some tax credit they're using for volunteer fire department people with the volunteer firemen. They're actually going to get a tax incentive to where they'll be able to deduct so much off of their income tax. I'll follow up and get some more information, and I'll get it to the chief. Just wanted to let them know that. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a law that was in place, and they took it out of place a few years ago, and now they're trying to bring it back. All right, any other public comments?
A video that I thought we might show from last week from the guys that got thrown out of the little bucket that was on the news, and just give you a kind of rundown on what.
See, friends, we're going to begin with that incredible rescue in Port Allen. In fact, here it is. Look at that man there dangling. They were working to remove a sign when basically all hell broke loose.
Yeah, they were thrown over the bucket truck like a slingshot and wound up hanging in the air from a harness. A West Baton Rouge fire chief tells me he saw the whole thing happen.
Oh my God, this is one of the worst things that can happen.
Cell phone videos and pictures sent into the 9 newsroom showed the horrific aftermath of the freak accident that stopped traffic along Highway 415 just before lunchtime.
I watched him go through the air.
West Baton Rouge Fire Chief Kenny Huntz says he was making his daily rounds when suddenly a big bright spark lit up the sky near the old racetrack gas station just off the interstate.
Flash was about the size of one of our big fire trucks, that big of a blue flame.
West Baton Rouge Sheriff's Corporal Christopher Bouquet says the men, Joel and Jordan Craig, brothers from Biloxi, Mississippi, were trying to remove the old racetrack sign when suddenly the belts of the crane that was supposed to lift it snapped.
The sign fell down and landed on one of the trucks, causing the 2 gentlemen in the box, the cranes, to spin around. One actually lands on the ground, one landed on the wires.
Authorities estimate the guys were about 40 feet in the air. Just to give you an idea of how high that is, here's a sign just above me. They say one of the guys was hanging there for 2 minutes before his co-workers could rescue him. The other man dangled in the air for at least 10 minutes before Entergy crews could get him safely to the ground. Entergy did not have to cut off power because the accident had already taken care of that, allowing them to safely pluck the man off the line. They will likely never forget what happened here today. The chief says he knows he won't.
One of the most horrific things I've ever witnessed as a fire chief. Been in the fire service 28 years, and that's been a tough one today.
Talk about scary. The brothers appeared to be okay. They were taken to the hospital just to get checked out.
Yeah.
So this was right when active shooter training was going on, and it was around lunchtime, a little after lunch. We had, I want to say probably 15 firefighters on scene, and they were ready to go. Entergy's guys showed up and backed their truck in to check the lines to make sure they were safe. And the guys from Entergy got out of the truck and said, "Chief, you know, we do this training every year, and we often get to use it, but it's always for somebody that's deceased." And this guy was alive, and he was like, "Let me get him down." And our guys was ready to go. We had everybody that's been training on high angle was standing there ready to go, and he's ready to go. So it saved a little time. He got him out of there, and it showed that, you know, I think the fire service was all about making it happen. We made the scene safe as we could. Entergy worked with us, and that was a great thing to see what they could do. And I can guarantee you it's going to be something that, as the fire service, we look at for as a resource that we probably didn't see before. For that guy to be able to tell you that he's cut 9 people down, this is the first one live that he's cut down, it shook me, because that's what they have to deal with. We think they always just turning on our power. We waiting on energy, and they take forever. Well, this is some of the training they do, and it didn't take him but a few minutes. He had that guy, checked him out, and brought him down. And, you know, I got to give them credit. Just like our firefighters are ready to go, you know, we have professionals that will do that, but they did their job, and they did it well. So just wanted to make sure y'all knew, you know, we all work together with that. So, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other public comment? Any other? Seeing none, got a motion to adjourn? Got a motion to adjourn. We will start our regular council meeting in 5 minutes.
Thank y'all for what y'all do.